Today's big show is on unity, individuality, and functionality of public schools. Now, some of these terms may seem to be in conflict, but I'm going to show you how they actually are not. But I want to begin by asking you a couple of questions. Fact or crap? Talent is universal, opportunity is not. Let me explain. Talented is distributed among all groups, all ages, all races, all genders, all ethnic groups, all income groups. I'm not saying in this statement that there is an equal number of talented people in every group. I'm suggesting or asking here, are you likely to find talented people in each of those groups? But for whatever reason, some groups' ability to demonstrate, develop their talents is restricted. Talent is universal, opportunity is not. Now, your answer to this is important, and it reflects how you view the world around you and the students that you have in your classroom. Let me ask you a different question. We should be judged on how we help those who are least able to help themselves. Do you agree with modification, or disagree? When I ask this of my students in, for example, my sociology classes I've had, students are bothered greatly by one word in that statement. And the word they're most bothered by is judged. They do not want to be judged. They don't mind judging others, but they do not want to be judged. But my question is, should we be judged on how we help those who are least able to help themselves? Another question for you. Here's a statement. It should be embarrassing to us that the United States, the richest country on earth, has 1 in 4 children living in poverty. Do you agree with modification, or disagree? I think it's interesting that during COVID, when schools were shutting down, at least schools in my area, the number one concern after they decided not to bring kids back, the number one thing that schools had to figure out was, how do we provide lunches and, for many cases, breakfast for all of these children who need that meal? I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't feed the kids. I'm just wondering if when we should begin to have the conversation about why we have so many kids who need schools to feed them. What has put us in that position? How did that happen? I think it would be an interesting conversation to have. Another thing I want you to consider. If you tell people they are better than they think they are, they will achieve more than they think they can. Do you think that's true? Again, it reflects something about how you see the world around you. And I want, especially, it isn't just for teachers, but any employee of a public school. Why are you here? Why are you in that building? Why are you an employee of the school? What's your purpose? I'm going to suggest that you should be part of something important. That you are part of something important and you need to be involved in that thing. And to be part of something bigger requires 3 things. And I'm going to explain each of these 3 things to you. Unity, individuality, and functionality. Unity references being bound together, having a corporate identity. You're an employee of your school district. And it implies being relational. Relationships look like more communication, more acceptance, more forgiveness, more caring. Not less, more. Successful relationships require edification, truth-telling, and forgiving. We need to lift up, help people learn, and lift them up. And we need to engage in truth-telling to ourselves and to others, and we need to forgive because people are going to mess up. So I need to ask myself, just like every employee of a public school needs to ask him or herself, which area am I weakest of those 3? And is the weakness due to a lack of courage? In my career, sometimes I was weakest in truth-telling. It was easier, it was more non-confrontational to not engage in truth-telling. And look, it's a fine line. You can go from truth-telling to just being obnoxious. But sometimes when we do truth-telling, we need to remember the other two things that sandwich it: lifting up and forgiving. Why should our focus be on building positive relationships? The fact is that we are unavoidably interdependent. We became what we are not simply through our choices, but through how we were loved and treated by others, for better and worse. Unity, individuality, functionality. Individuality, so we have this unity, this bringing together, but there's also an individuality. Each individual is important. Each of us has an ability to be involved and engage in something bigger. We're not all equally talented, but we have talents. Because of your gifts and our opportunities for growth, there is no excuse not to be involved. I don't know what area you need to be involved, but you have gifts that will allow you to help our group move forward. And that leads to this idea of regarding staff development. In public schools, it should not be about meetings. It should not be informational. We can do that in an email. It should be about development and helping us develop our gifts and use our gifts. Let's talk a little bit about functionality. Everyone contributes what he or she can. I'm going to ask you to find your place within that organization. True change, true hope happens through you. You can't opt out. It's not really a choice. Be all in. Be active, not passive. Get stuff done together. And are you in on that? And if not, why not? Do you want to be in on that? And again, I'm going to go back to, as an employee of a public school, why are you here? A day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship, but it is not this day.